Lisa, I'm excited to have this conversation with you. Talk to me about what drew you to partner with North Group in the first place and sort of how that's had an impact on your life and your business.
Okay, well, my first year in the business, I was with a different brokerage, and they placed so much emphasis on training, coaching, and mentoring new agents, which I got so much value in. And one of the things that I remembered in a training that I attended, which was in the middle of the pandemic, so it was all virtual online, was that when you start in this business, every agent should work for 1 year as a solo agent. So I took that seriously and was on my own for the first year. But during that process, I was able to develop relationships with a lot of other agents within that brokerage. North Group at the time was also with that brokerage. And so I had heard a lot about the team, about yourself, Amy. And so I was kind of just watching in the background what was going on with North Group on social, attending trainings. And it wasn't until I would say halfway through my first full year as a real estate agent, but second year in the business, that
Mm,
I realized working as a solo agent was really, really, really challenging
mm,
because I was starting to feel very isolated, partially because of just the aftermath of the COVID restrictions and so forth, but also because I was on my own. There's so much involved behind the scenes outside of being client facing and working in the business, and
yeah.
so I just lacked systems. I was kind of just winging it, taking it one day at a time. And I was putting deals together and I was having success, which was very motivating, but I was lacking structure. And so fast forward to the um, the last quarter of 2022, I realized because the market had changed quite drastically at that point that partnering with a team was probably going to be my best next step in order to weather the economic storm that we were in
Mm.
at that time. And and I ended up, I really wanted to attend Bigger 2023. And the night before the event took place, an agent who I had become friends with randomly sent me a message saying that he had an extra ticket and wondered if I wanted to attend. So, of course, I accepted the invitation graciously. And it was such a powerful experience for me that whole day, from the connections that I made, the content of the entire event, and how much I learned. The goal planning, that was so significant for me because it was something that I just lacked. Again, it was the structure that was missing. And so yeah, I spent like the remainder of 2022 just getting really clear on what I wanted 2023 to look like. And at that point, I knew that it was aligning myself with a very powerful team. And so after interviewing with several, I eventually came to North Group. And the more that I learned about this team, the more engagement I had with other team members, it just became so crystal clear that that's where I belonged and that's where I wanted to be.
I love that you said something, just to backtrack, you said the word roadmap, and I think it's such a critical piece that we as agents don't realize what when you're floundering or when you're just doing deals or or you're not doing deals. If you look back at that roadmap, that plan, that's usually where you can kind of crystallize why something's working or not working. And one of the things that we're so passionate about and we really implement at North Group is making sure that every year we're finalizing what that plan, that roadmap is going to look like, and then every quarter evaluating it. And so it's cool that we connected at that event, and now we've been able to work, on your business from a roadmap perspective every quarter in that capacity ever since. So I like that you pointed that out. What do you find? I guess like when you just look at the North Group platform in general and overall, so like we as agents join a team or partner with a team, there should be a plethora of services and support. And if that's not the case, then I would be challenging agents to look at that. So when you look at the North Group platform, what are you plugging into, or what are you finding the most amount of success with?
Oh, there's so much, but I would say the number one thing is the accountability component, because I thrive in a structured environment where, we have clear metrics that we use to track our success, or, areas in which we need to improve. And as I said earlier, I was just kind of winging it from one day to the next. And I remember, like, at times walking into my office, opening up my laptop and just staring at my computer for like 20 minutes, feeling so overwhelmed, not knowing how to prioritize my time and what needed to be focused on first. And
Right.
so one of the things that I have learned since I've been with North Group is that how to just structure my day, and how to create a calendar and time block and religiously follow that calendar. And then of course there's so much training and mentorship, which is a huge piece of the success that I'm now having, because in this industry it's always changing, it's always evolving. And so when you are aligned with a group of agents that are running their businesses at a high level, you're not sort of on your own trying to navigate through everything um, by yourself. Like, it's so impactful to be able to lean on other agents on the team who have been through what you're currently going through, or who have more experience. It's been game changing for me. And the more I learn about this business, the more I realize I have to learn. And so it's ongoing, and we have such a great group of people that are not only committed to their professional growth and development, but also really take pride in their personal growth and development. And that's so huge, because one of the things that you taught me earlier on in our relationship is that this business is um, it's 80% mindset, 10% confidence, 10% skill. And so it's not just applicable in business, it's in life, because you go through periods where, things slow down. And if your mindset isn't in check, then it's easy to get down on yourself and question, like, is this business for me? Can I do it? Do I have what it takes? And so that's really, really significant for me.
If agents were on the fence about whether or not they should partner with a team, I guess my question for you is, what advice would you give them to help them with their decision?
Whether it's a 1-year partnership or a 10-year partnership, you will learn the fundamentals of building a successful business. And there's so much value, from a sales coaching perspective to accountability, and the list goes on. I mean, it's one of those things where even if it's not a long-term fit, the value that you will take away from that relationship that you can then apply to your business for years to come is so significant. And if you're anything like me, you'll probably reach that 1-year milestone and realize, like, there's nowhere else I would rather be.